Hey, Arman here, and in this video, we're going to talk about key things on how to train abdominals. This is the most confusing thing for people to understand, and it just amazes me what I see in the gym. I mean, it absolutely amazes me. People have no idea what they're doing, and it's really an issue because a lot of people are going to get hernias from what they're doing because they're doing it improperly. They think that if they just work the area, it's going to take that fat off. That's a huge one. People think if they work it, it's going to, all of a sudden this stuff's going to come off, and that's not going to happen at all. And then people think they have to train them every day. They think they have to do all these different exercises to activate the area, and it's ridiculous. It's an absolute waste of time. And so what I'm here to talk about is how to not waste your time when it comes to working abs. And this is coming from a guy, I maintain my abdominals over 40 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other people that can have good abs, and the things they did probably helped them. But the key takeaway here is how much time did they waste to get those abs? Because I got it figured out. I don't waste a lot of time at all. And the other beauty is, once you know how to do ab work, after you get the abs in, really don't have to do that. You don't have to hardly do them at all. I maintain a six-pack and I don't work my abs anymore. I will from time to time. I feel like I want to tighten them up a little bit more to bring out the more definition, but just from the strength. But that's it, and it's not very often. So pay attention to what I'm saying here, and you can help other people as well get a better understanding and maybe save them some time, and also not get injured, because you can injure your back by doing abdominal work wrong. I see that a lot. It's just ridiculous. And then get a hernia because you have to do other things before you go into ab work. So if your stomach's already got body fat on it and it's already soft, doing ab work, you got an abdominal area that's already stretched out, and it's not. What happens is the organs start to pop through because you're putting the pressure on and you're pulling on it, because you're not even doing the ab movement correctly. So, I mean, I can go on for hours on this particular topic, but anyway, so I just want to give you some heads up on things to be aware of. So let's start out with, when it comes to abdominals, the only function of the ab, which is here to your waistline, okay, is to shorten the distance, to tighten it, between the pelvic basin down here, which is the insertion, and then the origin, which is the sternum. So you have it here, and you go to the insertion. All you're trying to do is shorten it. So doing long range movements isn't helping to shorten the abdominal. So it just needs to be short movements where you squeeze, let it relax, squeeze, let it relax, work it that way. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you do too much ab work, what also happens, you can get nerve shock. This is something I didn't realize either, but it makes a difference. You'll get nerve shock because the nerve cluster in the second brain, the solar plexus, which is right here, is going to be affected. So when you do too much ab work, it's going to overstimulate the body, and it's going to affect your training on your other muscle development of areas, because you're taking away from it because of all the stress that's been added by doing too often ab work. And then people think they have to do it every day. I did all that. I did it with weights and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I did every mistake you could probably make, but after learning these things, it's so much more efficient. So another thing, it's, again, like I mentioned, it's not necessary to train abs every day, and it's actually counterproductive. Because again, you're affecting this nerve shock area from the solar plexus, you're creating that kind of stress, so you're not really helping yourself. And these people do it every day, they mean they can do it, but the amount of return they're getting for that is so minimal, and it's also affecting their muscle development because again, it's a lot of stress to the body. So why do it? Again, I'm going to bring a lot of things to your mind here that you probably never heard. And then there's a lot of people out there on social media and on YouTube and all the things that they're doing. I don't do any of that. My program is really simple, straightforward, and very effective. Okay. Another thing I see people do is these side bends. And these people do this stuff religiously, and again, they do it every day using weight. They think that they're gonna, again, tighten the sides up because they have the love handles. All you're doing there is you're actually building muscle, and that's not good because the muscle is going to make it wider as well. You got to lean the area out. That's what's got to happen. So there's no need to do side bends with weight and cables and all these other things. You're absolutely wasting your time. All right, and then when you're training your abdominals, you need to have short rest periods, okay, to keep the pressure on. Just like when you train the muscles, shorter rest periods are just much more efficient. Now, there's going to be arguments saying, well, your ATP is not going to be restored. You need to have 2 or 3 minutes in between each set that you do. Yeah, you can do that for strength, but when it comes to developing muscle and to make the muscle leaner, you don't need that. That's splitting hairs, and this system works much better. So don't take long breaks and rest periods. Think you have to take those kind of rest periods to get results. Now, I've done it both. I've done it all different ways. I've done 5-minute rest periods. I've done 15-second. I mean, I've done it all over the place. And 15 to 30-second rest periods are ideal. Plus, you get done quicker. Plus, increases the intensity of the exercise. So, I mean, you're going to get the effect a lot faster, and then you just let the body recover. So that's what you want to keep in mind. Good, quick pace. Take short breaks. Go at it. You're going to hit failure at some point where you actually start cramping because you're hitting that muscle so hard, you're done. And if you start cramping, you're done for the day. Okay, and you continue to build on your progression on it as you get better and more efficient, and the body will do that. And again, there's another thing is before you, the thing you want to know about training though as well is you have to train abs, like I was mentioning, just like another muscle group. It's not a unique muscle group. You have to train all these different ways. I see people doing hanging leg raises and then kicking the way up on the side and, throwing their legs up, all these things. Can it affect the abs? Sure, but that's also a good way to get a hernia and also not necessary. So I'm going to give you straightforward information here, okay, because I'm going to save you a lot of headaches and a lot of time. But you train the abdominals just like a muscle group, okay? So that's what you got to understand. It's a muscle. You train it that way. Now, you don't, so the next step is you don't train abs until you get this belly fat off. If you have a lot of belly fat here, first of all, you're not going to get any range of motion, so that's not going to do much. And that's where you're likely to get a hernia because you're putting undue pressure on there when your stomach's already soft and the intestines can pop through. So here's what you need to understand. When it comes to training abs, you got to work on getting the belly fat off. Now, when you're training, doing pull downs and presses and squats and leg presses and all that, you're getting ab work. You get that all day long, or what they call core work, okay, and all these different names. But you're getting some work in that area, so it's naturally tightening it up. So just keep that in mind. You're getting that work. So as we get the nutrition working, get your metabolism firing all cylinders, you start melting that body fat off. Then you're going to start seeing the outline of the abdominals. Then that makes sense to work them because now you've got actual range of motion because you got all this fat off of there, the visceral fat and the subcutaneous fat they're laying on top. Okay, so I just want to be smart and strategic about it. But that's where the real work is getting the fat off and understanding how to do that nutritionally with nutrition. And again, I see people doing all these machines and all this stuff, and they doing it. Either they think they're going to get rid of the fat off of there, or they think they're just strengthening the area. And could it strengthen the area? Yeah, it could, but it's a short range of motion. And the problem is you're more likely to have get a hernia or another problem from doing it that way. It's not doing you any good. That's the thing I want to drive home here. You need, like everything you do with your business and other things, you need to be strategic. And that's what I'm talking about here. Being strategic to get the best return. And if you want a six-pack, I can get you there. Because I've been through it and I've helped a lot of people do that. Okay, but it may not be your goal, but if it is, then pay attention. Okay, then again, we talked about you want to train just like another muscle group. So you don't need to do an excessive amount of repetitions and things like I see people do. Again, there's a marginal rate of return for your efforts. So your maximum is going to be 15 sets of 10 reps, which is 150 reps, that's your maximum. That's if you really got, your abs are really dialed in, because that's tough getting to that level. So you would start out maybe 3 sets of 10, but it's all about how you work them. Now I can't get into, I have videos to explain how to work them, so that'll be part of this, but I'm not going to get into that on this video. But that's just so you understand. That's how you start out with it. Okay, so let's just recap here. You want to focus on nutrition to get rid of that belly fat, and once you get that off, then we start focusing on really starting to work the abs. And there's a series of processes you go through to prepare the abs for really hardcore work. Okay, and then you're talking maybe 10 minutes most when you train them. You don't need to be training abs for 20 or 30 minutes. You're wasting your time. Now, maybe that's not you, or or whatever, but don't take advice from your friends on this, because most of them have no idea. They're incompetent on it unless they've studied it and performed all the things that I performed. Because again, I've been at this 40 years. I have tried a lot of stuff. All right, so might be a little too direct on this, some tough love, I guess, as far as commenting. It's just that I'm frustrated with what I see all day long, all the time. People doing the same stupid mistakes. Okay, they're not stupid, but they're incompetent. They don't know. They're just trying to get something done. And I'm here to make sure you don't make that mistake. All right, so hope you got some takeaways. Of course, if you got comments, then feel free to put those in the group. And other than that, we'll talk to you again real soon.